It is day 2 in the 2015 Oregon legislative session, and the state's lackluster education system is taking center stage now. The Senate Committee on Education today held a meeting featuring the top education officials in Oregon. At issue, how to improve the high school graduation rate, which is currently the lowest in the nation. Both Democrats and Republicans agree more teachers and classroom days are necessary, but they disagree on exactly how to pay for it. The debate over schools going back to the playground, a political seesaw, with some saying Common Core standards lift Oregon up,
while others say it's suffocating and dragging schools down. KT's Reed Andrews is live at the state capitol. Reed, what's at the root of this political argument?
Federal oversight. Those who don't like the Common Core say that they are not properly tailored to how things in the classroom here in Oregon should run, and that folks from Portland all the way down to Coos Bay know best. But educators I talk with say that their disdain is misguided and that Common Core standards do a lot to improve things here.
Strategies and then a set of tactics.
Sitting around a table listening. This one is boring.
To make sure that as students move through the system.
And this one is pretty engaging.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the first 4.
Up the road from North Salem High is where lawmakers are currently working on changing what gets taught in Oregon classrooms. The issue at hand, Common Core requirements from the federal government being used in Oregon schools.
We want to make sure that teachers, parents, and students have input into that, and that isn't forced on any of our districts.
State Senator Tim Knope says any poor performance statewide for Oregon schools is greatly exaggerated, even as graduation rates are some of the lowest in the country.
Ultimately, I think we need to make sure that the local level is where our curriculum and our standards come from.
Math, science.
Robert Saxton is the head of Oregon Public Education, and he says just because it's not from Oregon doesn't mean it's bad.
For those people who say, gee, I don't like the Common Core, I think sometimes it's because there's a bit of a federal connection to that.
The students aren't too wrapped up in the debate up the road. In this classroom, they just want the standards that help them keep learning.
You can assure what your students need to know, when they need to know it, and prepare them and make sure they're ready and that they don't fall behind.
Getting rid of Common Core standards in Oregon has the legislative equivalent of running an ultra marathon before it actually gets into the classrooms. It's early for things here in Salem, and there are still a lot of work to do before anything actually gets off the paper, let alone get out of committee. Steve?
Reed, it's definitely a heated debate. We've talked about this many times on our political show. We're hearing about one legislator who wants to allow parents to opt out of Common Core for any reason. That certainly is fueling a separate fire down there.
That's right, Steve, and it's not just getting out of Common Core, but one legislator also wants parents to be able to opt their students out of standardized testing. Not just one standardized test, but any standardized test.
All right, Reed Andrews, thank you, sir.